than 24 hours. Or maybe a little bit more than 24 hours. I'm not sure exactly the time that this is going to be up. But I'll just say it right now. Tomorrow is going to be the TLC pay-per-view / network extravaganza, depending on if you're paying $9.99 or if you're being dumb and paying full price, or if you're being illegal and pirating it.
Fuck those last 2 people.
Yeah. Exactly. So they didn't really announce anything for the pre-show.
Yeah.
My guess is one of 2 things: Breeze versus Ziggler again, or maybe Miz versus Neville.
Maybe.
Other than that,
all right.
I don't know. No idea. Doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Because it's not announced. So if something does happen to pop up, we'll try and tweet out predictions or add them in post if we can. Who knows?
Or we'll just let you know who we picked when we do our review video on Monday.
Exactly. Alright, we got 7 matches to cover, so let's get started right away. How about the one match that doesn't have T or C or L or B or S or anything other letters that are involved in TLC?
Talking about Ryback versus Rusev?
Ryback versus Rusev. All it's got is 2 burly men fighting each other and one very attractive lady on the outside.
We want Lana.
I'm hoping she wins. Alright, well, I'm going to start things off with you, Mr. Colt.
Oh,
Who
shit.
do you think is going to win between Rusev and Ryback?
Going to be the Rusev.
Oh.
The Bulgarian Brute is going to take it. I feel like him and Lana as a couple once again. They got the one over on Ryback on Raw with the ankle injury, and I feel like they're going to try to do that again. That's not going to be the cause, but I think there is going to be a distraction from Lana on the outside that causes Ryback to win or to lose the match on Sunday against Rusev.
Makes sense. What does our absentee colleague Thomas Wolfe say?
Rusev? Rusev with a question mark. It's 50-50. He really doesn't care that much about the match, just because it's just kind of there. And he said that there's a 50% chance that Rusev is going to win, and there's a 50% chance that Ryback's going to lose. So he's going with Rusev.
Yeah. I'm going to go on the opposite side.
You're going to go with Ryback.
I'm going to say the Ryback because WWE has this weird habit of making the Ryback look strong.
They do.
And I think in this one case is the time they can make Ryback look strong in a pay-per-view without really offending anybody because there are no belts on the line.
That's fair.
There's no belts, there's no big prize, so we can't be mad at WWE for Ryback getting the Intercontinental Championship or stuff, even though he's not going to do any fucking thing with it. So, this is the Ryback. We had the whole Rusev attacked Ryback and, clutched him on the outside until they got double counted out.
Let's put this on the pre-show. Give everybody else more time.
That'd be neat. Or put a different, more entertaining match on the main card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I'm going with the Ryback just because I think that's the safe bet when you're talking about WWE.
Fair enough.
Then we have another match that doesn't involve tables, ladders, and chairs, but it does involve the Divas Championship. We're talking Charlotte versus Paige in a you have to win on top of the commentator's table via submission.
You said it didn't have anything to do with tables. You lied. You just fucking lied to everyone.
I was making that up actually.
Oh.
That's not an actual stipulation. I think it would be amazing if it was the stipulation. If it was you had to win via submission on the commentary table.
Let's not. Let's just let the girls wrestle,
specific.
Please.
I think it would be rad. Let's move down the line with Thomas Wolfe first.
All right. I actually have reasonings for all these matches, more so than I did for Ryback versus Rusev. He is going with Paige. He says, I think Charlotte isn't getting over as WWE wanted, and they want someone reliable to carry the belt after all the injuries they've had lately. So he is going for the Paige.
I'm going to go for Paige because she's my wifey.
Because vote for Paige.
Yeah, stole my line.
I was hoping
for Paige.
You didn't say it, so
Paige.
I said it first. I'm not going to vote for Paige. I'm going with Charlotte.
You're the odd one out this
Yes, I am the odd one out. I think they're going to keep it on Charlotte because I think they're still deciding what they want to do with her. And I think keeping the title on her, she is a solid wrestler, so she is going to be able to continue to have good matches with the title. But I think depending on what the reaction is between her and Paige at the pay-per-view, that's when they're going to decide what direction they're sending Charlotte. But they're still going to let her run. I'm guessing she might keep the title till just before Mania. Maybe lose it at Fastlane and then have the rematch at Mania. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, Charlotte retains on Sunday.
Yeah. The only thing I think is scary about that is I think WCW. That's WWE.
That was a great slip.
That's WWE's all-female show that will hopefully happen one day.
Don't steal it. We're gonna do that. That's gonna be our thing. We're gonna come up with something like that.
All-female promotion?
Yeah.
It's called Shimmer.
No, it's called WCW. That's just fun to say. Moving on.
No, my thing is WWE, I feel like it's kind of scary thinking that WWE is still deciding what they want to do with somebody that they put the championship on.
Yeah.
I think if you're putting the championship on somebody, you need to have a definite plan already, or at least right off the bat, have a definite plan of where you're going to go immediately. With the fact that everything seems so wishy-washy with Charlotte, I think it's really, I don't think it's a smart choice to have the championship on somebody that you're unsure of where their character is heading.
At the same time, they've really been dancing around with what they want Paige to do also. So I feel like regardless of
she's just being a bitch.
Well, so Charlotte.
Yeah, but not as much.
No.
They're playing up the Charlotte mystery a lot more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 2 for Paige, 1 for Charlotte.
All right.
Then let's move on to all of them stipulations.
Stipulation.
The T in TLC stands for tables, so we're going to start there first because it's the first letter. We have an 8-man tag elimination tables match.
This is so cool.
That means at minimum 4 people are going through tables. That means at maximum we could see 7 people going through tables.
That's fantastic.
That's a lot of WWE is investing in tables this weekend.
They didn't use a lot this year, so they're like, you know what, we're gonna.
It's like the confetti quota.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we haven't really
confetti.
used a lot of tables this year, so you know what, we're gonna let you guys just go all out, and
so it's
probably in the Dudley's contract.
Team ECW, that is the Dudley Boys, Tommy Dreamer and Rhino. They're taking on the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start this one out.
Do it.
I am going to say, just for the fun and nostalgia of it, Team ECW is going to take this one.
Just because the Doodleys have the edge in table matches?
Yeah. And it's, ECW, they've got the whole extreme thing going on for them.
True.
I think you're going to see Rhino gore someone through a table. I think you'll probably see Rowan maybe do a top rope move through a table.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be
Do a
shocked.
splash.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe he'll splash Dreamer through a table.
Cool.
What I'll tell you won't see is Tommy Dreamer getting chokeslammed through a table.
Tommy Dreamer does not do choke slams anymore.
No more chokeslams for Tommy Dreamer.
The last one he took was from Lance Hoyt at House of Hardcore?
Yes, I think maybe. Some indie show.
Yeah. But it was Lance Hoyt.
Yes. But yeah, no, here's the idea, is I think they really dropped the ball on not giving the Dudley Boys the tag team titles and not putting over the New Day in a tables match to establish the New Day as a big threatening heel team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with the fact that they're not losing to somebody where this is going to mean a whole lot, I think it goes to the Dudleys, Dreamer, and Rhino because honestly, I feel like this is a filler storyline until they find something new for Bray Wyatt to do.
That's fair.
What about you?
Me, I am going with the Wyatt family, just because they built the Wyatts up for the Kane and Undertaker thing, and then that just got shut straight down. And then they had a really good direction into this storyline, and I'm more so going with the Wyatts based on the fact that I want them to win. I want them to finally have something that they can say, look what we did, and not have it just come crashing down at the next pay-per-view. Because that's exactly what happened with Kane and Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
They were on top of the world for 2 weeks, Undertaker and Kane came back, Undertaker and Kane won. That's just the way the Wyatt family work, and I want them to prove their dominance. I think the fact that they came out and went face-to-face with the League of Nations on Raw is a big thing as well. I think they're trying to push Bray Wyatt as a main star, especially with how many stars they have out right now. They don't have really strong heels. Bray Wyatt can play a strong heel, especially with this group of monsters that he has behind him. On top of that, they're going to say, hey, we beat the Dudleys in their own type of match. They brought in their most extreme friends, and we destroyed them. And that's going to, maybe it'll continue into something at the Rumble. Maybe it'll continue, to Fastlane. Probably not that far. Rumble tops. But yeah, I'm going with the Wyatt family picking up a win in this one.
And what about Mr. Thomas?
He is going with the Wyatts as well. Very similar to what I said. He said that they need a victory, and WWE had assembled a team that the fans already care about without the need for Team ECW to be built up. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you get people invested into a team. You got this nostalgia with Team ECW coming in. It's a good recipe to put heel points on the Wyatt family.
Absolutely. I'd like to see the Wyatts win. I would. But it's the pattern.
Yeah.
The pattern is, and it's the same thing. It's the Wyatts lose to Cena, the Wyatts lose to Undertaker and Kane, the Wyatts lose to people who don't necessarily gain anything by beating the Wyatts.
Yeah.
The Wyatts are the top of the mid-card fodder for babyfaces at this point.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that at this point, creative, Vince, whoever it is, realizes that they knew they need to invest in these new characters. They need to realize that with people like Seth Rollins and Cesaro, and with these people being out and they don't have that star power that they already built up, they need someone to fill those roles. And Bray Wyatt has been trying, but he keeps getting shut down every so often. So it's time for him and the rest of the Wyatts to actually be a dominant force for at least until Mania, maybe, and then start them over. I don't know, but let's let them do something.
All right. 2 Wyatts, 1 Team ECW.
Yes.
L is next in TLC.
Yes, indeed.
So we're going to go with a ladder match. That's a triple threat.
Tables, ladders, and chairs.
That's a triple threat tag team championship ladder match.
You have a hard time saying that?
No, I was giving the proletariat Boris Moldova treatment.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, we got the Usos and the Lucha Dragons challengers to the New Day. We're not sure what incarnation of the New Day will be defending the tag team titles.
Yeah.
Because we saw Big E and Kofi teaming on Raw, and we saw Kofi and Xavier teaming on SmackDown.
Maybe we're going to get Big E and Xavier?
Could be Big E and Xavier. Kofi could be tired of all these ladder matches.
Yeah.
All these Money in the Banks he's not winning.
I feel like Kofi needs to be in it. He's got the most experience in this type of match.
Here's what's going to happen. Kofi says, you know what? I'm tired of all these Money in the Bank ladder matches that I keep getting put in and I don't get to win. And he's going to say, I'll let Xavier and Big E take this one. And then right before the match, they're going to go, you know what? We decided, Xavier, Big E, you guys are winning.
Kofi's going to be like, fuck!
Yeah, I think that's how it's going to go.
All right.
Mr. Colt, who do you think is going to win this one?
Lucha. I'm going with the Lucha Dragons. I think with the fact that we had Kalisto go over Ryback in the tournament, the Lucha Dragons have been getting a lot of TV time. I feel like a surprise win. Everyone's kind of focused on the Usos and the New Day because they are the more established teams out of the 3. New Day constantly getting the rub on Raw, on SmackDown, multiple segments. The Usos were super popular, just came back, getting their stride back. People obviously want to see them win, But the Lucha Dragons are a very popular team as well, and I think that the Usos have had their time. They've been tag team champions before. It's time for the New Day to lose, and I think the Lucha Dragons need at least a couple months as tag team champions for the very first time.
Alright, what about Thomas Wolfe?
He is going with the Usos. I think that what they'll do is have the Usos go over and then build for the rematch. Use the fact that there were three teams as... Oh, the New Day will use the fact that because there were 3 teams, that's why they lost. And then have the rematch probably at the Rumble.
Fair enough. I'm going to go with the New Day. I'm going to make it a 3-way split.
We're split!
The first time on the card. We're halfway through, and we're getting our first 3-way split.
I kind of figured you were going to go for the New Day.
I'm going with the New Day 8 because the New Day, probably my favorite team out of the 3 of them.
Because New Day rocks.
New Day does rock. I'm going to say it right off the bat. Them having 3 people is what's going to give them the victory.
The commentators brought up a good point of that on this week's SmackDown, saying that that third person is really an X factor on the outside because neither of the other teams have that.
Yeah, neither of the teams have a third person unless maybe the Lucha Dragons can somehow convince El Torito to join up with them.
Please.
Please. Who knows? The Usos could have. I don't know. Roman Reigns busy.
Tamina.
Sure. She's probably busy too, doing something.
Team Bad ain't doing nothing at the shows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Team Bad, even if they were to get involved, would probably be to benefit the New Day.
That's true.
But here's what I'm saying. I think the New Day having 3 people.
Sorry.
Deuce comes back.
Sure. I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, the New Day having 3 people is what's going to give them the victory. It's no disqualification in a ladder match.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely nothing keeping the third member of the New Day from interfering the entire time.
Except the other 4 guys in the match.
Yeah, except you think that's 3 to 4. That's much better odds than 2 against 2 against 2.
True. You do have that X factor, so
yeah.
All right.
You're dealing with the X factor.
I got everything you ever wanted.
No, you don't.
Let's move on to the next match.
All right. Finally, the C in TLC stands for chairs.
Yep.
Not crap or crayons, but chairs.
It could stand for those if you wanted to.
Tables, ladders, and crayons. We're going to have Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. The United States Championship is on the line. This is a rematch from WrestleMania a few years back.
Yeah. Except that was for the world title.
Yeah. Well, this time they're only focused on a singular country, that is the United States of America.
Forget the world, we're talking about America.
And we're seeing Swagger versus Del Rio. Who does Thomas Wolfe pick first?
He is going with Jack Swagger.
Oh!
Very much a middle ground like he was on Rusev Ryback. He says, Swagger versus Del Rio is a tough one because my opinion depends on what they want to do with the League of Nations. If they want them to be the powerhouse faction like a mid-card Evolution, then Del Rio needs to retain. If they want this group to be Sheamus and his lackeys, then Del Rio will drop the belt. I'm going to go in a sort of middle ground with Swagger winning after Zeb distracts Del Rio, leading to a rematch where Del Rio may win it back because this time he expects Zeb to get involved. So Swagger taking the belt due to outside interference by Mr. Zeb Coulter.
All right. I'm going to go also with Jack Swagger.
All right.
Mainly because I don't think the League of Nations storyline benefits from having more than one champion in the stable. It adds prestige to the stable, but at the same time, the League of Nations aren't going after any of the other championships. They're just there to back up Sheamus, like you were saying, Sheamus's lackeys, sort of. And I think what will end up happening is League of Nations are all going to be big guys with big egos. They're all going to turn on each other and try and get the belt from Sheamus. I think Del Rio's going to be the first one to do that. So in order to do that, he's going to have to drop the United States Championship or the Mex-American Championship, whichever way you look at it. And Swagger's his opponent, so it's going to Swagger. And plus, hey, let's build Swagger up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, why not?
He's a trustworthy guy who sticks around.
I'm all for them pushing Jack Swagger. Absolutely.
You done with the fuck Jack Swaggers?
Oh yeah. I've been done with the fuck Jack Swagger for a while.
Right.
That was like beginning of the rundown stuff. I've eased my tension with Zack Ryder. I had an issue with Zack Ryder.
Don't tell Thomas that.
No, I've kind of I appreciate what Jack Swagger does. He's a very consistent wrestler. He does a lot of good stuff in the ring.
His promo skills have really been improving by leaps and bounds over like the last year, I would say too.
And he's still super over with the crowd.
Yeah,
Who would have thought that We the People would be one of the biggest things? Like he still gets a big reaction with that.
I give that one to Zeb Coulter. That's the other reason I'm saying Zeb Coulter is getting involved in this one, because he's going to get all, whether or not he sides with Jack Swagger, he's just going to be pissed at Del Rio for trying to threaten him on Raw.
Yeah.
So that's the involvement there. What about you?
I'm going with Del Rio.
Right, you're being the oddball again.
Yes, I am going to be the oddball. I would absolutely. I'm not going to be upset with whoever wins this, because especially with the fact that Del Rio is actually, working on, being involved in what's going on now. He's not coasting like he was, like we felt like he has been since he won the championship. Now that he's actually invested and he is a part of this stable. True, they don't need extra titles in the stable, but I think that gives Del Rio something to latch onto, because Del Rio has only been back for a couple of months. Not many people, really respect Del Rio for what he's done in the past. Everyone else has something. We got Sheamus as the champion. We got Barrett as king of the ring. We have the Bulgarian Brute, who's just been on a tirade for God knows how long now in WWE. Del Rio needs something to latch onto to be a viable person in the League of Nations. And I think that he's going to retain the title one more time. I think it's going to be something shady and possibly do a rematch at the Rumble. That's where Swagger will take it. But this feud is going to continue, just because with the formation of League of Nations, they haven't done a lot with the storyline, except for that one altercation on Raw, where we saw the break of Zeb. I do think Zeb's going to get involved, and I think he's possibly going to side with Swagger, but I think maybe Swagger going to check on Zeb is going to get him screwed over in this match. But then, full force, Real Americans come back at the Rumble, take the U.S. title.
Fair enough.
But Del Rio's winning.
2 Swaggers, 1 Del Rio.
Yes.
Alrighty. With all the T's and the L's and the C's out of the way, how about TLCs?
Yeah, because there's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them, and we're going to start with the one that doesn't mean quite as much. Roman Reigns versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. I mean,
this is like the mid-card TLC match.
I mean, this was really just kind of added on last minute. Like, they felt like, okay, Sheamus and Reigns can't really do a match very well on their own. They need something to amplify it, so why not make it a TLC match?
Yeah. Everyone knew, like, Sheamus and Reigns were probably going to have a match at this show.
Yeah.
But,
well, it made sense after what happened.
It wasn't even really until the end of the show on SmackDown we knew they were going to have a TLC match for the championship.
Which is weird, because you think that for something called the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, you think they'd build this up, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I mean, a really important storyline.
Well, and you'd think they'd have recap after recap after recap of all the stuff that's happened over the course of 3 weeks to build up this massive match. But then they're like, yeah, SmackDown, we're going to have a championship match between Roman Reigns and Sheamus.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to start this one out.
Do it.
I'm going to say, oh, dang it, I don't even know.
He's having a tough time, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you listening to the podcast, he's grimacing. He's slapping himself. He's stroking his mustache and his goatee because he shaved his beard. He's thinking real hard, pressing his temple, covering his eyes.
It's going to be Roman Reigns, I think.
Okay.
I think Reigns is going to take it, and I have an explanation, but I'm not going to go quite into that just yet.
Okay. Why not?
Uh,
Because you don't want to.
Travis Cole.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your turn.
Oh, as much as this hurts me to say, I'm gonna go with Sheamus.
I vomited a little.
Yeah, oh God. Like,
Watch the taste out mouth.
I want Roman Reigns to win. Because I said this going into Survivor Series. I appreciate what he's done, and I think he deserves to be recognized for it. Unfortunately, I don't think that beating Sheamus at a subpar pay-per-view is going to do anything for Roman Reigns. I have a feeling that because of League of Nations, because the fact that it's TLC, and because all of his buddies are in matches earlier in the night, I am seeing Roman Reigns literally being by himself and having the League of Nations, possibly the New Day, all screw over his chance at winning the championship.
But you say that because of all his buddies being in prior matches, but the New Day, Rusev, and Alberto Del Rio are all in prior matches to this match.
But then you also have Barrett.
Yeah, so Barrett really would be the only wild card based off of your rationale of people being in prior matches.
But thinking about it in those terms, you have Sheamus who's fresh, you have Barrett who's fresh, and then you have 5 other guys to combat the 3 other guys that'll come out and help Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
There's still the numbers game in favor of Sheamus. This is going to lead to Roman Reigns winning at the Royal Rumble and come face to face with the Rumble winner and start building the feud from that until WrestleMania.
Interesting. What does Thomas Wolfe say?
He is going with the Sheamus as well.
Gross. You guys suck.
Sheamus and Reigns is another one I'm having trouble with. Before the League of Nations was introduced, I was going to say 100% Reigns. But now that they have this new group, if they want to utilize it to its fullest potential, Sheamus needs to keep the belt and have a dominant run at least until the Royal Rumble. They also have potential if this group stays around long enough to build it into a Shield reunion. As much as I dislike Sheamus, I vote for him because I want the League of Nations to succeed because it keeps Del Rio, Rusev, and Barrett all relevant.
Fair enough. So we got 2 Sheamuses and 1 Reigns. Another part that votes for Reigns is that it's just anti-Sheamus.
Yeah, yeah.
How about the one that everyone is excited for?
This is the main event.
The one they've been building since SummerSlam.
I can't believe that.
It's literally been 6 months, like 5 or 6 months of build for this match.
I can't believe we've been that invested
I know.
for this long.
And it's been just drama.
All kinds of drama.
And, like, intensity and, popcorn spilling and Coke throwing.
And, attorneys getting DDT'd. And
yeah, this has just been the most astonishing slow burn storyline WWE's done in decades.
And I'm glad they didn't just decide, okay, these guys need a stipulation, like, right at the end of SmackDown.
Yeah, like...
that would have been rough.
Like, they didn't have a stipulation for their match, and they were going to put one on at the last second before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That would have been poor decision-making on WWE's part.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Kevin Owens defending the Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose, that lunatic fringe dough.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. You know what? I'm going to start this one myself again. And this goes into my reasoning why I think Roman Reigns is going to win the championship against Sheamus. I think Dean Ambrose is going to win the Intercontinental Championship from Kevin Owens. I think at the end of the night, we're going to have your Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, buddy in the ring, holding their belts together a la Guerrero and Benoit from WrestleMania 20.
All right.
They get to be buddy, holding belts, hugging, kissing, whatever they want to do, drinking beers.
Yeah.
They do that, apparently. They talk about it. They never show them doing it.
All the time.
Which, it goes into a lot of my thinking on future storylines, potentially. In my alternate reality where the New Day doesn't win the Tag Team Championships, even though I think they will, Usos would win. Usos would be my second choice. Basically, feeling like, okay, they put the tag titles on the Usos, they put the Intercontinental Championship on Dean Ambrose, they put the title on Roman Reigns. Guess what? Now they have 4 counterparts, 4 championships for the League of Nations.
Oh, okay.
You can have Rusev go after the Intercontinental Championship. You can have Del Rio and Barrett go after the tag team titles. You can have Sheamus try and regain the championship of the Royal Rumble.
All right.
You know, but my long-term story, I still think Kevin Owens is going to get the Intercontinental Championship back at the Rumble, probably. I think it's going to be one of those things like, oh, we want Ambrose to win. You know, Ambrose has always been insanely popular since the Shield split up. People have been waiting for him to have his standout title run since they didn't do a lot with his United States Championship run while he was in the Shield.
Yeah.
Now that he's got more personality, this championship run is going to mean more. So I think they're going to cut it off. To give you why we want Dean Ambrose to have that belt. But that's still leading into my Dean Ambrose is going to win the Royal Rumble, face Roman Reigns for the championship at WrestleMania with Seth Rollins coming back and invoking his rematch clause. And having the Shield triple threat.
All right.
Everything I do from here on out since Seth Rollins got injured is all
building to
the
WrestleMania
Shield triple threat.
Shield triple threat at WrestleMania 32.
What about Thomas Wolfe?
Thomas Wolfe. Kevin Owens. While I want to see Dean Ambrose do something on his own, and I think the IC title run would help him branch out, as long as he's so attached to Reigns as his backup, they won't do anything with him. Although I do really like how Ambrose and Reigns have maintained a working relationship, and I also think there's a lot more mileage to get out of Owens as champion.
I like it. He's got a good point.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I'm saying that the title reign is going to be 1 month maximum for Dean Ambrose.
All right.
It's because they know they can squeeze a lot more out of Kevin Owens being the champion. Because he's good at being a champion that pisses people off.
That's fair.
And to round things out, Mr. Colt, what is your choice on the Intercontinental Ladder Match?
I think this is the first time on the entire card I'm agreeing with you. I'm going with Dean Ambrose. Because very much in the same thinking that you had, not only had, he's only won the one championship since his debut.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
That's it. He was U.S. champion while the Shield was together, and that's it. He has no other accolades to add to his name. Also, playing into the fact that I think, why the Wyatts need to beat Team ECW is to build more stars. People love Dean Ambrose. And you've had Kevin Owens, who has been a fantastic champion. He's been a fantastic heel champion. It's time to switch the belt because Owens, I don't even remember who Owens beat.
Ryback.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Ryback, and that wasn't a very long run for him either. And before that, it was Barrett until he got hurt. And so, our last prominent champion for the Intercontinental title was Wade Barrett. Because he had the whole situation going into Mania, and then Daniel Bryan won it, and then it's been all kind of clusterfucky. Mm-hmm. So, Owens has been a mainstay champion who's only missed 1 week of shows. That was last week when he was sick. He's been consistent. He gets under people's skin. He's entertaining in the ring. I think he needs that babyface counterpart. Dean Ambrose is the perfect person to put against Kevin Owens because you've got Owens who says that he does all these things for his family. He's the sympathetic bad guy. But then you have the good guy that comes and goes, I want a belt. I'm going to go after your belt just because I can. And I think Dean Ambrose, this is going to be a big thing for him, launching him into next year, is giving him something else that he can say he's been. There needs to be something, especially if they're putting Reigns in the title picture. I think the only logical step, very much in the way that you said, is have Ambrose somewhere in there. He can't go for the championship, obviously, because he's not going to face his tag team partner. But give him some sort of, hey, I'm on the same level as you. Give him a title to run with. And I think the Intercontinental title, again, probably a very small run. He probably won't keep it. He'll probably lose it before Mania, regardless of what show it ends up being. I don't think it'll be the Rumble. I think it might be Fastlane. But yeah, give the babyface a run with that title, just to amplify his importance on the roster.
I like it. Dean Ambrose does need to be important. I look at it as a way of, like, I can't remember for the longest time the crowd having been excited over Roman Reigns trying to win the championship from Seth Rollins, despite the fact that the match never even happened.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't remember the crowd really being like, yeah, do it, kind of thing.
Definitely not.
Seth Rollins went against Sting. I think the crowd loved that Sting was there, was doing his thing. But I think it was such a weird angle that I don't think a lot of people were going, oh, Sting, go Sting for the championship. But then you think, like, when Rollins first won the title, one of the first people to go after him was Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
The crowd was hot during that feud.
Absolutely. Anytime you put Rollins against Ambrose, people are going to lose it because they know that it's gold every single time.
Yeah, because they had their TLC match or tables match or it was a ladder match or TLC match at some point.
They had
and then they had a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
And these guys tore the house down both times, and the crowd was so into this. And I think that's like, the crowd is so into Dean Ambrose. You can't, he's getting surpassed up just by Roman Reigns just because that's who WWE wants to push.
Yeah.
They need to realize, hey, let's capitalize on how extremely over Dean Ambrose is with the general populace.
Yes. I 100% agree, and I think with people being down in the roster, it's the perfect time for someone like Ambrose to be elevated to that level.
Yeah, well, I think and that's another thing going into my idea of having Ambrose challenge for the championship at Mania, is that I think with as fact as he's over as he is with the audience, being one of the few guys that's constantly getting the big pop of the night from the crowd, is it could be the next close thing to Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania win.
Yeah, no,
or just participating in.
Yeah, knowing that Ambrose is going to be in the title match at WrestleMania, that's a draw.
Yeah.
That right there is what's going to get people to buy tickets
I think
buy the pay-per-view.
I think the biggest draw in a long time would be if they had all three guys in the Shield.
Absolutely.
Fighting for the championship.
I 100% agree. Regardless of when it happens, how it happens, when the Shield faces each other and when they get back together are going to be two of the biggest moments in the coming years of wrestling. Because they are as popular as they are.
Well, that's it, folks. Those are our predictions. What are your predictions? Put them in the comments. We want to read them. Send them to us in emails. Send them to us on our Facebook. Tweet it to us.
Comment on Instagram.
Comment on Instagram on a picture we posted.
Yeah.
We'll probably post some TLC-related pictures.
Possibly.
Speaking of all those things, you can find the links below us.
Yeah.
Right underneath the place where you can like, favorite, and subscribe.
And then over on the left side of Kevin Hawk is a little thing we call the playlist, which has all the other videos that we've done this week so far. We got the Raw reviews setting up for TLC. Midweek wrap-ups got NXT, a Lucha Underground announcement, and predictions for NXT TakeOver London. We also have the SmackDown Rundown. You can rewatch predictions if you want. And coming up next, we'll have indie news for all those peeps that don't get that TV time.
Are you going to have like a full rundown of the card for Ring of Honor?
I don't know yet. I don't know for sure.
You're not sure? Alright.
I'm going to have Final Battle. Final Battle, have the full card. I'll have results from this weekend's, or actually tonight's episode of Ring of Honor. So look forward to that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the news. Or whatever video you decide to watch next.
Yeah, I think he's right about that. Whatever video you watching next. Also, P.S. Fuck Sheamus.
Yeah.